this category today. 2015 movies.
Well, I was hoping I'd have a little bit more to talk about tonight because I'm doing this one live, so there's no fast forwarding option available to me. Welcome to the Final Wager. I'm Keith Williams, and I have no math to do except to figure out how much Ricky can wager. 14.4, $15.99 at most for Ricky. Okay, I would fast forward here. No, I'm just kidding. I have a lot to talk about. Thaddeus can double 6,400, so Catherine can wager up to 800, inclusive, because she would win the tiebreaker. I didn't like Catherine's daily double wager on that $800 clue in Judean history. Of course, it would have been better for her to wager $5 in that case, but that's a low-level clue and something that most people have a good sense of. Although now that I think about it, Judean history is very biblical, obviously, and I know a lot of people who don't know the Bible that well, and that would have been a tricky clue. I knew that the Beersheba question was going to come up. I knew once they had the map of Israel and Judea that they're going to ask for what the capital of the Southern Kingdom was, and I just couldn't pull it out. What I could pull out in advance was, in the first round, that DH category. I knew one of the bottom level clues was going to be Dashiell Hammett, and sure enough, it came up, and nobody got it. I did take a few notes tonight. Let's see. Oh yeah, that French jobs category. Very nice for me, speaking French, and our players didn't have too much trouble with it either. The mimicry clue, that was a nice get by Catherine. My favorite example of mimicry, and this is, I think I learned about this when I was 5 or 6, I've just loved it ever since, is the Viceroy, which looks exactly like the very poisonous monarch butterfly, but you can eat it. Well, we can't eat it, but birds can eat it and not get sick. They don't know that because it looks like a very poisonous butterfly. I learned about essential oils. That was very nice. The Betty Smith clue, that should be a trigger for Tree Grows in Brooklyn, although I think I should know who wrote Johnny Tremaine too, so I can't criticize too much there. Newcastle, the Sussex, that clue was fun because having just driven through half of Delaware over the weekend, you see a lot of those things, and Kristen Sawsville lives in Newcastle, so that was tip of the tongue, although Newcastle is also a seacoast town in New Hampshire, so that was where my mind first went, until Kent and Sussex. Those are the only 3 counties in Delaware, so that one made sense. Just saw a shade of blue. I'm hoping that there's some other commercial, but I was hoping I could just stop talking, but I have to keep filling the time. There's one other thing I want to talk about. Oh yeah, that other daily double that Thaddeus got in the state anthems, "Blessed by Heaven Above," I think was the key there for me. I didn't recognize this must be the place, or this is the place, which I'm guessing is what Brigham Young said when he was atop some mountain, which I know I've climbed at some point, and saw the Great Salt Lake and thought it was fresh water, and then everyone was very mad at him. But "Blessed from Heaven Above," it would make sense it would have some sort of religious bent to it. Alright, now we get to play. I'm not going to do well on this one, I don't think, but we'll see how everyone else does.
Movies, that's the category, not so long ago. Here's the clue. Jazz musician Trombone Shorty performed the voices of just the adults in the movie about this title group. 30 seconds, players. Good luck.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's asking for this title group, so I'll put that. I actually did a joke like this with Cerulli and Osro a while ago, where I was speaking like that.
Third place with 3,200, and you came up with "Who Are Peanuts?" You are right. Yes. And
Who are peanuts?
$29.50 is what you get to add to your total, bringing you up to $6,150.
So Catherine can wager up to 800.
And she came up with the correct response also, and her wager, $799.
That's good. Ricky's going to wager $15.99 here.
In second place because Ricky Young could not be caught. Did he come up with... Oh, he came up with a minion, so you were lucky. And
yeah.
how much did it cost you? $15.99. You'd have won by $1. 14,401.
No, he wouldn't have, Alex. He would have won by a lot more than that. That 40,000 even? That sounds about right. Well, it's strange that tonight's game also came down to a buzzer race in the last one, or I guess last time there was no buzzer race. It was just a stand and stare for the one player who needed to get it right to have a chance. And actually, if Catherine had gotten that last $800 clue and everything else had held, I'm not saying it would have, then she would have won the game with a proper wager, of course. And I assume she would have. But I think when you've already won the game, and I think this is what Alex Jacob was doing, it pays just to shut your brain off for a few minutes, because you got to go back into the dressing room and change and come back out and play another game. So every minute you can take where you're just relaxing and not thinking too hard is a minute that can help you recover for that next game. So anyway, Ricky just wasn't thinking that one through. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one too. Okay, we will see if he goes for... if he's going for 3 tomorrow. We'll see if he wins it. And I hope you'll join me then, right here on the Final Wager.